but this was like something I have never felt in my life. And it's such a weird thing to experience at 8 months postpartum when I never felt like that. And trust me, I've had moments, I've had periods of time where I was feeling like shit, but this was just, it was so weird. I've never felt like that. And I guess I'm just sharing this for any other mom out there who might be going through this or who like save this for the future and know like, hey, you're okay.
You gotta get on my level.
Hey, I'm Leah Van Dale, and this is Hot Mom Shit, the podcast where we live in the and. We're going to laugh, we're probably going to cry, and I'm definitely going to say something I probably shouldn't. If you've ever looked like a babe on the outside while completely losing your shit on the inside, you are exactly where you need to be.
Welcome back to another episode of Hot Mom Shit. I feel like last week's episode, I was like running my mouth like crazy and just going crazy and saying all the things. I was just so excited to be back and talking to you guys about all the things. And that's still the case for this week. But this week, I definitely want to talk about some shit that has been going on in my life, like mom things, mom problems, and just feel like I've been going through it. And truthfully, I was supposed to record this episode 2 weeks ago, but I'm so glad I was having technical difficulties because if I had recorded this then, it would have been a completely different episode because I was really not in a good place, in a bad place, which maybe would have been good for truth telling and being transparent. But I'm glad I'm able to look at it from the other side now. These last few weeks have been rough. I mean, I know I told you guys that I was still pumping when I was in Europe and my supply was great the entire time I was there. And then I swear it was the day I came back, my supply started dropping, which I knew, like, I feel like I'm fine with that at this point. I'm almost 9 months postpartum and I'm really proud of myself for getting to this point because breastfeeding is no joke. It is a full-time job in and of itself. And on top of that, my son, Bram, my little Bram cakes, my little Bram cracker, has decided not to latch since he was about 2 or 3 months old. So I've been exclusively pumping this entire time, which if any moms out there, you are a pumper, you know, or if you did pump, you know the struggle that is exclusively pumping. Having to find like a power supply, having to like be tethered to the wall. And I know I can do the hands-free pumps, but for me personally, I don't get as much milk. So sometimes they're good if I'm in a pinch, but to have to be tethered to the wall and then sit there for 30 minutes and then clean the pump parts, put the pump parts away, store the milk, freeze it, like what, it's just such a fucking pain in the ass. And it's taken such a toll on my mental health for the last few months, but I've sucked it up for the sake of giving my son breast milk. And we've been combo feeding him since he was about 3 or 4 months old, which is what we did with Dimitri as well, just so I didn't have as much pressure on myself for producing milk, right? Even though like I've had a pretty good steady supply, but I wanted to introduce formula just because I didn't know, as I never exclusively pumped with Dimitri, so I didn't know how it would be this time around. And it's been a struggle on my mental health, and to especially because my husband does travel a lot and to not have help in the mornings or at night. Like when my mom is here, it's a little bit easier to work with the pumping, but to like have to wake up with a newborn a newborn or a very young baby off of very limited broken sleep and a toddler and have to figure out when I can pump and then take care of the other and then feed him his bottle while I'm pumping. And then God forbid I need something to eat or have a glass of water. It's just been so much of a struggle for me with the pumping. And I know I talked about this with Dr. S a couple episodes ago. I just couldn't stop because I couldn't stop with the pumping because I just felt guilty. I really wanted to give Bram breast milk. So I was sucking it up and sucking it up. And I know in order to have solid mental health for myself and feel good mentally, that would make me such a better mom. But something in me, I just couldn't let go of it. I just was feeling so guilty. And I am glad I kept it up to give him the milk that he needed. But like for any mom listening out there, like I hope you can take my advice and, do as I say, not as I do, right? God, just stop the pumping, stop the breastfeeding if it's affecting your mental health, because it has been such a struggle for me, truly. And I look back now and I'm like, I feel like I wasted so much time that I could have spent being more present with Bram and Dimitri, especially like those days and weeks where Matt was out of town. I could have been a better mom had I not been stressing or worrying so much about the pump parts or the milk, or like, am I getting enough, or am I giving him enough, and do I have enough time to do that? Like, it's been a lot. And like in hindsight, I do wish I stopped sooner. But and as I say this, I literally just was like pumping before I was doing this, before I started recording. I still am pumping like once in the morning and once at night. And I'm slowly trying to get off of it because I'm going on vacation in another week with my family and I don't want to be stressing about that. It's just a lot. And I'm trying to remember what doctor has told me. Like, there's no need to keep going. Like, there's no law, there's no rule. Like, I can stop. So I have been really trying to listen to my body and realize I am pumping a lot less. But with that being said, it's been wild trying to wean myself off. Like, I guess am I weaning myself? I don't know. It's weird because I'm just exclusively pumping. So am I weaning him or am I weaning? I don't know the right terminology. But the other day, I just had such a terrible, terrible, terrible panic attack and like mental breakdown. It was so bad. It was like physical, because I think it was the first time my body was realizing that I wasn't pumping as much. I wasn't getting as much milk. My supply was going down. And I didn't do a drastic change. Like, I was doing 2 big pumps and then 1 little pump in the middle of the day. And I was just kind of taking out that little pump, which wouldn't think would be that much of a difference. And it has been insane. It was so crazy to the point where I was like having a panic attack. I couldn't breathe. Everything was like putting me in a bad mood. I even said to my mom, like, and I noticed I was feeling that way and I just kept trying to distract myself that morning. And I finally said to my mom, like, I feel like my hormones are all over the place. I can tell because of my supply going down. And I said, everything is pissing me off. Everything is making me mad. I feel like this like dark cloud over me. And I knew I had nothing to be upset about. I had just gotten back from vacation. I was on cloud 9. Why was I feeling like this? And she's like, it's okay. Like, just take a breath. She was like really great. And then my husband, bless him, love him to death, but he just doesn't understand hormones. He doesn't understand it at all. And like I was saying to him, like, I just don't feel like, I feel so crazy right now. I'm like so upset. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, why? Everything's good. You have nothing to worry about. And I'm like, again, that's like a guy thing. I know, like, even talking with our therapist, like, he's trying to fix the problem. I'm like, I don't need you to fix this right now. I need you to just like hear me and like see me and how much of a hard time I'm having right now. And luckily, like, our couples therapist is also Matt's personal therapist. And he was getting ready to do a session with him. He's like, do you want to like hop on and like we can just do our session now instead of tomorrow? I was like, yeah, like I'm struggling. So luckily we got on the call and Matt just sat there the whole time because I was just bawling my eyes out and telling him all of these things. And just like, and I'm so grateful in that moment that I had the therapist there, because I was going down I've never had a reaction like that. No postpartum has ever felt like that. No, I mean, I've only had 2 postpartums because I only have 2 babies, but I never felt like that with Dimitri. And of course I had like postpartum rage with him, and that I know I've talked about publicly, and some postpartum anxiety, but this was like something I have never felt in my life. And it's such a weird thing to experience at 8 months postpartum when I never felt like that. Trust me, I've had moments. I've had periods of time where I was feeling like shit, but this was just, it was so weird. I've never felt like that. And I guess I'm just sharing this for any other mom out there who might be going through this, or who like save this for the future and know like, hey, you're okay. Like, what really helped me was just talking to the therapist at that moment and him being like, well, what is it that you're worried? And I was like spiraling about all these other things that I had no control over. Like, for example, my mom has this thing called Lynch syndrome, which is like you have this gene for certain cancers. And I've been putting off getting tested for it for like years. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what if I have cancer? And then like, I'm not going to be around for my boys. And then I'm not even going to see them grow up. And like, it was so like, talking about it is like making me super emotional. because it was like, why all of a sudden is this just coming up? And then I'm like, oh, what about, I don't even know, like, what if we don't have enough money to send the boys to college, or what, like just crazy things that in that moment are so like such a far-fetched problem. Like, but in that moment, all of these things were just felt so heavy. And luckily my therapist was like, listen, right here, right now, you're in this room. Your husband's next to you. Your boys are fine. Your mom is with them. You are good. You are healthy. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your refrigerator. And I'm like, I don't know why. I just needed to hear all of it. He's like, take a breath. Like, we are here. We're like, focus on what's happening in this moment right now. And finally, I was able to like stop this downward spiral and be like, oh, okay, I'm good. And even though those thoughts were continuing, and then all of a sudden they would come up again, and I would have to like get it all out. And he's like, okay, let's talk about it. And I've never in my life had that experience ever, even with like, having maybe a little anxiety here or there, or postpartum depression or rage or anxiety. I've never had it to this extent. And it was rough, and I'm grateful. And since I haven't really had any moments like that, it was just so weird how in that moment it was so like the levity it was insane. It was so intense. But luckily it was just that one day. And since I've been really focusing on, and I will say, and this isn't for me to like plug my own shit, I swear to you, but I'm so grateful I had Snatch Chat because I have a hormone specialist in there. And I like immediately logged in and I was like, hey, is there anything that I should be, hold on, can you guys hear my babies? In that moment, I was like, I need to know if there's anything I should be focusing on or figuring out while I'm doing this weaning. And I reached out to her, and she luckily got back to me within hours and was like, you should really be focusing on your nutrition. Make sure you're not under eating. Make sure you're hydrated with electrolytes, and really just telling me all the things that I had been doing, but I think I maybe forgot about because when you're a mom, you forget to take care of yourself. You're always on the back burner. And she gave me some ideas for supplements that could really help. And I started doing all of that, and I feel so much better. She said like to really prioritize healthy fats and things like that. So I'm so, so, so grateful. And again, that's not like a plug. Like, don't even think about going to Snatch Chat if you don't want to. But I'm so grateful for the community that I have in there, because I was able to, again, had my therapist that day, and then was able to have some real evidence-backed information from a specialist who deals with hormones. And she was able to help me, and I'm grateful for that. And since I've been feeling great, and we're still like working on weaning, but we're getting there. It's a process. One of my girlfriends said that she would take away one feed or one pump once every 2 weeks. And that's how slowly she was getting rid of her supply, because she would have the same thing happen to her. And it is crazy. Like, you don't think about that. You think like, oh, you have your baby, you breastfeed, people talk about postpartum depression, or, now we're talking more about anxiety and rage and all of these things that happen postpartum. But nobody really talks about weaning and the things that happen and go along with that. So it was really eye-opening for me, because I didn't really deal with it with Dimitri, because I was still breastfeeding him when he was 14 months old. And it was just, a little snack here or there, or to help him fall asleep. And when I finally finished, I was still breastfeeding, or I'm sorry, I was pregnant with Bram. So I was like, I need to stop doing this, because I was giving so much of my energy to breastfeeding, and I needed to focus on growing my baby. That's just for me personally what I had to do. And so I never really dealt with that with him. So it was so crazy dealing with it. So I'm sharing this for any other mom who may be dealing with that, and know that like you're okay. And if you need any help, like reach out to a specialist or a therapist, or do what you got to do to focus on you. And hopefully you can have some help with your babies in the meantime, so you can get the help that you need. And I swear we're going to like lighten things up a little bit. I really have been thinking a lot about, motherhood in general, and being a mom of two, and how different my life is now as a mom of two than it was as a mom of one. And oh my gosh, at first it was so hard, like so hard. I had this epiphany last night because when I first started doing bedtime, any mom who knows, like, if you don't have this, then what is it, like the scaries when it comes to putting your baby down or your kids down, then you obviously have, bless you, you have easy babies, and like that's great. And I hate using that word, like easy babies, hard babies, like every baby is a baby, blah blah blah. I get it, all right. But with Bram and Dimitri, like putting them down for bed has always been so anxiety inducing for me. It's been just the worst. And in the beginning, it was fine. I'm so blessed. Instead of like Matt getting me a push present, I was like, can I please have a night nurse? And I'm so grateful for that. She helped so much with bedtime, a couple nights a week. And then the other nights, Matt was home because he traveled so much. So he's like, okay, I'll get you somebody who can help with, nighttime. And I feel so blessed and lucky for that, like so lucky. So that helped so much. But then once the night nurse was done and I was left with a baby, a newborn and a 2-year-old by myself, I had so much stress and anxiety putting them down. It would be like having to put Dimitri, like read him his book and do all of his things. And the entire time Bram would be screaming his head off. And it would just break my heart because I felt like I can't be two people and be in two places at once. It was just like the worst experience. I hate it. I would never want to go back to doing that. I would just wish the time away, and I would never want to go back to that, truly, because it was so hard. And when I tell you the stress that it gave me, I feel like it took years off of my life. And then you could say, oh, well, why wouldn't you put the baby down first? And then but the baby, like a newborn, doesn't go down until like late. They don't have early bedtimes. And even if he was down, like if I would put Dimitri down, then he would wake up. It was just like thinking about it right now is like giving me hives, truly. But last night I'm putting Bram down. And then Dimitri watches TV for a couple minutes while I go put him in his room. So I do the nighttime routine all together. We put our jammies on. We do all the things together. And then I'm like, okay, Dimitri, I'm going to go put Brammy down. And it takes like putting Bram down now. It's like cake. It's so easy. Put him down. I read him his book, put him down. He rolls over, he falls asleep. It's incredible. It took a long time to get here. It took 8 months to get here, but we're here. And then it's like, and then I got to come downstairs, and then Dimitri and I had a snack, and then we played blocks, and then we go up to his room and I read him his books, and we do our nighttime shadow puppets and all the things. And it was like, holy shit, I can't believe we made it through that. Now, it's not to say we're not going to have a shitty night here and there trying to put them down, but I did it by myself. And it was just like this epiphany. Like after I put Dimitri on, like, okay, good night, I love you, closed his door. And I stood there like, holy shit, I'm here. I'm over that hurdle. I'm over that hump. I got through it. Both of my babies are down. No one cried. I'm not ripping my hair out. And usually by the end of the night, after putting them down, I'm like crying. I'm stressed out. I'm like calling my mom. Like, this is what, like talking her through how everything went. And she's like, it's okay. You're not a bad mom. Like, I would need to like talk about it because it felt like such chaos. And I felt like I was ruining one of them because one of them would be crying while the other one was getting me, or vice versa. It was so hard. And I'm so grateful. And I'm telling you this for any other mom who feels like they're in it right now, it gets so much better. I swear it gets better. I promise at some point you'll be able to put them both down and give them both the attention that they need. And I just am so glad and grateful that I'm at that point. It's amazing and it's fun. And I feel like I can enjoy Dimitri now because I feel like he got the brunt of like the shitty end of the stick for the last 8 months, because it'd be like, I'm holding Bram and I'm trying to read a book to Dimitri and he's like, no, I want one more book, one more story. I'm like, that's all you get, because Bram's screaming and I feel awful. Like I look back and I feel like but it's like, that's all I could give. That's truly all I could give. And I have to remind myself that that's okay. He's okay, that like he's not being neglected, but it was fucking hard. But we're on the other side and I feel so blessed and I feel so grateful that we're on the other side of it. And then one more thing that I do want to address. Bram, okay, 8 months old. And his sleep has been kind of like hit or miss for the last 8 months. Sometimes we have good weeks, sometimes we have bad weeks, good nights, bad nights, all the things. But There's always fucking something. There's either a sleep regression, they're teething, they're suddenly crawling, they're rolling over, they have a rash, they're sick. And then it's like, then rinse and fucking repeat. It is the most exhausting thing to try to keep up with when it comes to their sleep. Some days they sleep for some reason they sleep all night, and then other nights they're up every 2 hours and you do the same fucking thing, the same routine. Some nights when they sleep better, I'm like, oh, I was wearing my pink socks. Maybe I should wear my pink socks again tonight. And not like 8 nights in a row I'm wearing the dirtiest pink fucking socks because my baby sleeps when I wear them. And if I don't wear them, they're in the wash. All of a sudden now my baby's not sleeping. And it's like, what the fuck? It's because I'm not wearing my pink socks. And it's like all of these superstitions happen for when it comes to your baby sleep. And it like drives me nuts. But I'm just curious for other moms out there. Are you just like, your baby's not sleeping? Are you just walking through life as a zombie as well? Because I feel like when I see other moms out there and I'm like at the grocery store and they have babies and they're just like walking along and things are great. Are they sleeping or are they just pretending like everything's okay? Are they on autopilot? Are they just like so numb they don't feel anything anymore? Are we all just pretending that we're sleeping and all of a sudden life is great and we're just like acting like that when we're out in public? Because I want to see other moms out there who are zombies, because I feel like I'm a fucking zombie and I'm walking around with my hat, my sunglasses, and I'm in the grocery store like I don't even fucking know where I am right now because I only slept 3 hours last night and then not even 3 hours in a row. I'm just curious, is anyone else out there feeling like this? Because sometimes I feel like I'm looking around and I'm on my own island, like just wondering why nobody else is acting like they're tired. Are you guys all just stronger than me? Are you all just way more mentally stable? Like I'm confused and I would like a little bit of input, a little bit of advice, a little bit of, I need to know, am I the only one? Because why do I feel like I'm so fucking tired and I'm barely getting by and everyone else seems like they're fine? Or are you just all pretending? What is it? Are we pretending? Or are we all tired and we're just like where are the other tired moms? Because I don't see them when I'm outside. Like where are you? Make me feel less alone. Make me feel like I'm not crazy, or maybe I am just crazy. I don't know. But I would just like a little bit of solidarity, please. Anyone else out there tired? Because I am losing my fucking mind. Even when I went on vacation, it's like I slept for several nights in a row and then I come home and it's like, oh, that never even happened. It's like whew, gone. I don't know. I'm just like, and I know eventually Bram will sleep. I know because Dimitri did. He did not sleep for the first year of his entire, like the entire first year of his life. And then he started sleeping well. And now he sleeps great. We have the occasional night where he'll wake up or something. But for the most part, he sleeps great. And I know I'll get there with Bram. But it's like, I feel like at this point, I'm just so far gone. Like, I feel like my body is just deteriorating from the lack of sleep. I've either been pregnant or postpartum or breastfeeding for the last 3+ years. And like, will I ever return to normal? Will I ever get back to zero? And then maybe even get a little bit above? Like, I'm just curious when I'm going to, like, when the deficit will stop and I'll get to a point where I'm like, oh, this is who I am. I can see in color now. It's almost like Pleasantville. Do you guys remember the movie Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire? And it was like the world is black and white. Then all of a sudden they started like being a little promiscuous and like kissing and all the things. And then all of a sudden you could see color. I'm like, when am I going to get to that point? Because I feel like I'm in a hole still. I mean, the emotions and the hormones, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm not going to lie. But it's just the sleep deprivation is wild. But we'll get there. I know we'll get there. But I would love to hear from other moms. Like, are you tired too? Like, are you still tired? And does it get any better? Because I just need a little something to like look forward to, you know? But that's my rant for the day. I know I've kind of been all over the place when it comes to motherhood, but I've like run the gamut today. But it's like there's highs, there's lows, and there's like, again, the genesis of this podcast that we live in the and. Like we can have good days and bad days. I can be grateful for my kids and also want to sleep. All of it can be true. We're all over the place. We're up and we're down, but that's what it is to be a fucking mom, right? And that's that. I still haven't come up with an outro for the show, but let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know that there's a light at the end of the fucking tunnel because your girl needs to see it. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. What the fuck?
You gotta get on my level.
You did it. Somewhere between the laundry and the meltdowns, you made time for another episode of Hot Mom Shit. If something today made you feel a little less alone, text it to the mom who could use the reminder too. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode, and come hang out with me at the Leah Vandale. Remember, babe, none of us have our shit together.